Hello, Pastor Joel here from Chico First. First Kings 13 tells a strange and really tragic story. And a lot is going on in this story. But here the man of God is a prophet who boldly speaks and temporarily obeyed God's word up to a point. But then he was deceived and he ended up disobeying God. And as a result of that, he died. And from this story, we're reminded of the danger of partial obedience to God. We can't do some of what God has called us to do or speak of some of God's word. Instead, we need to speak and obey all of God's word. And we're often tempted to not fully obey God, thinking, well, I've done most of what God's called me to do, so that should be enough. And yes, some is important, but God has never called us to obey him partially. And this is the picture we see in this man of God here and the consequences that flow from what he did. And what we need is to be familiar with God's word, confident in his will for us, and prayerful in all that we do, in case we end up being fooled as this man of God was here in 1 Kings 13. We need to pray that God would help us to obey his word completely. We need to pray that we would help us, or that he would help us do all that God is calling us to do. And so, is there a place in your life where you're stopping short of obedience to God?